a phrase they kept on saying.
I'm staying with my family at the moment. I'm in my parents' house and I thought I would just drop in for a chat. Today is the 18th of May and the restrictions are being lifted today. So it's going to get a bit more dangerous. So there might be a spike in the number of cases, COVID cases. So I came home for the weekend. I've been living on my own, isolating on my own for the last 2 months. This weekend I came home to see my parents and it was my first time not living on my own, not seeing anyone, not being near anyone, not sharing space with anyone for a very long time, and it's been lovely. Hold on. I'm gonna bring you a bit closer. I can't speak very loudly because I don't want to wake my brothers who are nocturnal. Being here has been really, really amazing. I feel really calm. I left my phone and my laptop and everything in my apartment, so I'm really like unplugged here. And I have some books and stuff, but genuinely all I've been doing is chatting to people. I don't think I realized how starved I was for like incidental communication. Like I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls and even like my mum's been visiting me and we've been like chatting across balconies on the roof of my apartment block, but I haven't had like just like ongoing casual chats for a very long time. And yeah, so that's really all I've been doing since I got here. I came on Saturday evening and it's down Monday and all I've been doing is just talking to people. It's also really making me realise how well I am. I know I've only been here for 2 days, so I don't know how sustainable it is, but I've healed so much over the course of the lockdown physically with the ME stuff, because had nothing to do really but just get my pacing really good and get my diet really good and everything, and do like all my different therapies and things. I really can't explain how different it's been. We all have so much time for each other, but also like I can hang out all day. I can help. Like I'm like useful. This is the first time I've ever lived here and been useful. Genuinely. Like last night I just like hung around. We had like a really lovely, lively dinner that was full of like laughing and staying around the table for ages, and then me and my brothers cleared and like we're washing and having beers and chatting, and like I haven't like spent time with them in so long, like in that way. Wednesday, 20th of March, lockdown day 66. This morning, Mum and I got up at 4 a.m. to go to the seaside and watch the sunrise. It was glorious. At first it seemed like we were too late. The sky was already a pale blue, with bits of pink around the edges, but as we drove around the corner in Clontarf, there it was, a giant molten orb, heavy in the sky like low-hanging fruit about to drop. Suddenly, amidst the nuclear silence of the 2020 world, I have taken an interest in the natural world. I suppose it's the only thing still going. Plus, it's something we can depend on. We descended onto the beach and found a log to drink tea on. We talked, we watched the sun race up into the sky. The suns rise faster than you might think. Another thing I've learned today, ever since I started noticing.
They're done. 10 potatoes were planted just after Paddy's Day. These are the beetroots, 3 rows of beetroots, a melange of peas, and coffee grinds, because the snails don't like snailing over coffee grinds, so they can't get in to eat the peas.
It'd be funny if they tried to eat peas and ended up just getting really, really hyper.
Yeah.
Sunday, 11th of May, quarantine day 63. Some years ago, on a summer's day after a long spell of convalescence, I made a video in which I mused that instead of aiming to live each day like our last, we should try to live each day like it's our first. It was a special summer. I had been in bed for almost 2 years, and now I was well enough to be out in the world, and every day felt like a stunning adventure. To live each day like it's your last is a suggestion that we may derive joie de vivre and appreciation for the everyday by being aware that everything is fleeting and will someday end. It's a suggestion that we give life meaning by being aware of its end, but that summer reminded me that a key element of joy and appreciation for the mundane can be found in the opposite, looking at life not as an expiring pleasure but as something new, attempting to look at it with fresh eyes, living each ordinary day as if it was our first time living that day. This, I thought, was the one great existential silver lining to living with a disease that puts you in bed for months at a time. Every half a year or so I would emerge after one such sleepy sojourn and get the opportunity to travel back into my life with a refreshed sense of excitement, gratitude, and newness. Classrooms, coffee shops, Dublin streets. These things never had time to get truly stable for me. Just as they were becoming commonplace, my life would be reduced to 4 walls for a while, so that when I emerged, life felt like a brand new adventure to discover. Now, of course, in this lockdown, I'm experiencing a heightened version of this, as is everybody else. Since mid-March, I have seldom left my small flat, and over time I have become reluctantly accustomed to a slow, small little life. But this weekend I went to my parents' house to stay with them for a while. In an odd turn of events, the very place where I was so confined as a teenager is the location of my latest post-engagement renaissance. The house feels so big. I observe the feeling of existing within a household like I'm a traveller on safari observing the customs and ambience of a foreign culture. I'm discovering it as if for the first time. Things like people walking their dogs and birdsong and bumping into my siblings in the kitchen and trips to the seaside. The rhythm of dinner conversation is unlike Zoom. It's quick and buoyant and full of zingers. After months alone in a small flat, a family of 5 is a crowd. Having people to talk to, spending afternoons drinking coffee in the garden. Truly thrilling stuff. Yesterday, sounds of light household bickering lulled me into the sort of satisfied sleep one encounters upon arriving in a new city. Taking a nap in your Airbnb, soothed and excited by the sounds of Barcelona or Paris streets outside. But obviously that's not what was going on. The oddest thing is the uncanniness. Of course I know this place very well. I spent 2 weeks here in February, not to mention the 19-odd years I spent here growing up. But as we shall all soon learn when we get out of this lockdown, it doesn't take much to reset the brain to a new normal. And as solitude and urban quarantine became normal for me, family life and everything else from my pre-corona life became somewhat exotic and unfamiliar. The house I grew up in feels, to my unstimulated senses, an exotic location. My family strike me as exciting new/old friends. I feel refreshed and excited. I feel refreshed and interested. I'm sitting in my bedroom, hearing the wind and the new/familiar scent of lavender. I recognize an old feeling. That now I'm about to be reintroduced to my life again, and that it'll feel a little like we're meeting for the first time.
This is our formal graduation. You gotta.
Oh.
Oh my god, you're all wearing tracksuits. Miss Bunting is turning in a grave.
It is very epic.
When you're a really sunny morning and there's all sunshine and grandeur, and clouds, it's almost too much. Like it's almost kind of shocking.
How did you drink your apparel during the coronavirus lockdown?
Did.